And I think that's where that's another nuance in, I think, relationships that often gets missed, is that people can often assume that, for example, women's expectation that a man provide financial security, that's unreasonable, that women are bad because they like men that have a little more money. I don't think that's bad. I think the question I ask is, if you're asking for access to more money or a man to have money, is there something about you that would appeal to the man that you're seeking to acquire? And I think that's where those, Kevin Samuels' conversations are quite relatable, because I think that there are some people who misassess the market. Like, they go searching for a husband the same way you search for a boyfriend. That ain't the same thing. You can't, you're not going to get a temporary worker for the same wage that you get a permanent employee with a long-term contract. Those are two different transactions. And I think that people that don't understand that, they end up mixing it up. They end up basically trying to turn a hoe into a housewife, male or female.
Yeah.
I know you're not gonna. I know you're a therapist and a relationship therapist. And one of the things that people should understand is that who you date is very cultural, and it fits directly with your economic outcome. So if you pick the wrong kinds of men consistently, the wrong kinds of women consistently, it's going to show up in other areas of your life, and it's going to impact your economic life. In fact, Madam President today was speaking about this interesting trend where there are some Black women who are getting online bragging about how they just want to be the rich auntie, and they want to trade their career in for children and family, which of course is everybody's right. And this is a direct connection to how your dating relationship preferences impact your economic outcomes, and how your economic outcomes impact your dating relationship preferences. So, like, for example, I'll tell you, I had a preference back. I gained a preference in my early 30s where I said, I do not want to date. 9 times out of 10, I probably would never consider dating a woman who was either in medical school or law school. If you became a doctor or a hardworking lawyer, I wasn't interested. And now,
what was it about? What was it about that?
Well, a lot of our views are shaped on our experiences. So when I was 29, I met a couple of women who were doctors, and they grew up with these hardworking single mothers who told them to focus solely on education. Don't worry about boys. Put boys in the back burner. I didn't want to always be on the back burner. I wanted somebody that was actually going to put attention in our relationship. And so that was just an experience to let me know, okay, you're working all the time. And, now only thing a list could tell me is it could give me data. Like, for example, I'm going to tell you the truth. I did not know. It took me a long time to understand how important height was to women. I didn't know that me not being 6 feet tall was a strike against me. I never thought about it. Right. Until one day there was a lady I liked, and she got real nervous to tell me. She's like, well, I don't really know how to tell you, because she I thought she was going to tell me something really devastating. And she said, well, you're not tall enough or something. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't give a shit. Like whatever. Like there are a million things about me that make me a great man. And if you don't think I'm tall enough, that's okay. Plenty of women did, right? And there's plenty of great things about dating me that have nothing to do with my height. And I, my wife is 100 times more gorgeous than this woman was. So whatever. I wish her the best. It's not so if I had heard that, though,
okay.
Right. So what the data that did give me was, it's like, oh, so height is really important for some women, but height ain't my strength. My strength is my intelligence. If my intelligence were height, I'd be 8 feet tall, right? So that's my strength. You work with your strength. And
yeah, I'm just really curious. Again, when you meet a woman and she is a parent, custodial parent to children, is it like, what is it? Is it that you don't want to be with a woman who's had multiple children with multiple different men? Is that what it is? That's a category.
Okay. Are you're asking? Are you asking me? You're really asking? Or are you asking rhetorically? It's up to you.
I'm not asking you, Boyce.
Okay, I got it. Okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't know if I was being asked to answer, because I could give you my assessment, but I've already spoken a lot. So go ahead.
Okay. I wasn't asking you. I'm asking the person who put this particular item on this list. Like, I'm curious. Like, I don't judge it. I don't talk about it necessarily, but I'm just curious about it. Like, what is it about a single mother? Is it that they're having multiple children by multiple different men, and they're careless about their reproductive health, and they're just sleeping around with a whole bunch of people, have a whole boatload of children in their house and their daddies ain't around, like that's a scenario where maybe they're like talking about a single mom in that particular way. Like, I don't know what their thinking process is, but I'm wondering if it's similar to that sort of thing. And that's different from having one child versus having a bunch of different children by a bunch of different men. So that's what I would say about that first item on the list. I'm curious about the thinking process about someone who is
Okay.
careless.
The internet is toxic as hell. Like, let's just because what happens is that the toxicity rises to the top, because crazy people are much more interesting than sane normal people. I think that one of the biggest mistakes you can make in dating is to get dating advice from people on the internet. I really think that is a trend that is just horrifically unhealthy and toxic, and will lead you into an absolute abyss. It will make your life as miserable as the lives of the people that you're listening to. And I only say this because I have insights into a lot of these internet influencers. I've created some. I've helped some people get their names out there and stuff. And I just would sometimes find myself just stunned that I'd be thinking people are taking advice from you. Your life, I know your life. Your life is a complete mess. And I'm just telling you, y'all got to listen to smart people. You got experts out here in your community. We just had the All Black National Convention. What nothing but experts there. What nothing but really smart people who actually have good lives that can really show you how to live in a healthy way. You're not going to get as much of a dopamine rush by listening to a person that gives you good advice as you are from a person who is a train wreck. And so that's the first thing I would say. Second of all, with this list, people can do whatever they want, but and they have the right to say what they're going to say. But the idea that someone can make a list that you should make into your own list, that's a big problem. I also remember you're not qualifying the people who are giving you this list. The men who made this list, what's their life like?